I'll be with you all shortly. Alright, I think we're about there. Okay, let's get to it. First thing we got up is a 1398. This one is no power, so it's pretty much straight down the line. No weirdness, just no power. Right, let's see if we can plug this in, make sure we haven't got any intimate details. Nope, we're good. So zoom out a bit here. There we go. We've got 200, 300, 500, 600, 700. That's charging. Let's see, where's our chipmunk? Yeah, that's not good. It's not good because the chipmunk's saying there's power going to the system. We're in a SO state, but we're not chiming or anything, so we've probably got a dead CPU. Or it could be the VRMs. I'm not sure. But that's not good. Yeah, when you got your SO state coming up, but you're not getting any life, that's bad news. And it responds to the power. Cue the dramatic music. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I see Brisbane's gone in lockdown. Fun and games. Thankfully I'm up north, but that doesn't mean anything. It'll be up here quick enough. If not already. People are just too complacent. It's just the way it goes. It's the way we are as humans. We don't believe that things are going to happen to us until it does, and then we're going to find a reason to blame it on something else for the fact that it happened to us rather than our own sort of selfishness, as it were. Our own, it won't happen to me, or I'm special type behavior. Death Palm, you think something's broken with it, that's I'm going to have to hire you with a mind like that. Sharp as a brick tack. I found out why the camera was showing the tungsten tones last night. It was nothing to do with the tungsten setting or anything. It was just simply that I had inadvertently put the camera into manual exposure control and everything mode. So I've got it back into auto mode, and it's being a little better in terms of color and brightness. I still think I could push it up another notch or two in brightness, but we'll see how it goes. Right, dusty as hell. Come on. Come on. Let's try not break our fingernails. Let's get that solid state drive out. It's very dusty. Interesting, it's got buffer rubbers on the battery pack. It's pretty good going. I'm looking at the screen that shows me what broadcaster is showing. It's pretty good going considering there's a high brightness here and relative darkness here. It's still managing to keep it under control. Hey Alan, I see Alexi's here. Is this a 3332? I can't quite tell. No, this is a 3562 or something. Worst case scenario, I might just have to get a replacement board for this, but I don't know if I have one. 3662. Definitely don't have one of those, I think. Just update the job management. Board 8203662. Actually, I'm having a hard time recalling if I've ever handled the 3662 variant before. I mean, they're just different configurations, but similar sort of boards, but anyway. What's this? Scope cam was off? It does remind me. I'm not even in the mark. Was I? Oh yeah, I did too. Wow, that's crazy. I did that subconsciously in a way that I didn't realise the scope cam was off. Yep, it's on now. I think the first thing we'll do is clear out some of this dust. Turn the fume hood up to maximum. Well, definitely, I'm not a fan of the bugs, I'll tell you that, but fortunately it only happens a couple of days a year, so you get used to it, you expect it. Hopefully next year I will not have to deal with it at all. Hopefully by next year I'll have, well, when I say next year, I mean next season. Hopefully by next season I'll have all the holes plugged up. Interesting, but has it always been different? Yeah. Okay. Let's get this board out and have a look. Really not sure what I'm going to be expecting in this one. Oh, these are the ones with the little wire catches on them. If you don't pull the wire catch up, then you basically borderline destroy the connectors. I am worried about this one. You always worry when you have something getting into a full SO state but you're not getting any life. Hey Tony. Paulie Lewis. Normally I'd be doing other things during the day, but this was a bit of an urgent scenario. So I thought, alright, we'll do a Daystar video. But I have a dreadful feeling this is going to be a disappointing outcome. Yeah, Stuart, we're definitely worried about the SO state and no life. I mean, it's not always a fatal combination, but it certainly, on a more regular basis, does not bode well. Nicholas, pretty much, I mean, in terms of the time of the day that I do it, but I certainly don't let them languish any longer than I have to. Yeah, I still try to get them done as quick as possible. I mean, that way I get paid as quick as possible. I don't drop as many swear words, but every now and then I will lose the plot a little. Just not quite as often. Though that does tend to make me a little less controversial, which usually results in less exposure. People like the dramatic, people like the flair, so that's not what you're going to get here much. Always got to remember the secret lock tab there. Every YouTuber has their place. Every YouTuber has their audience. The sort of person you are on YouTube generally is a bit different to what you are in real life. Some of it's an intentional differencing. Other times it's just more of a natural separation. Hey Ted Berry, no, the camera is good. The getting used to it, sorting out the settings. I'm sure I'll improve on it more over time. So I'm gonna guess for, well, look, I'll be honest, I actually don't know what I'm going to be looking for here. Could be a multitude of things that could be inhibiting CPU life, aside from a dead CPU itself. I would have been happy if it was charging, but no SO state. That would have been great and fine. But not this combination. Ah, hell. Damn it. Yep. Corrosion by the regular... This is probably going to be a dead CPU. That is not where you want corrosion. Very bad. This is why they have this plastic here, because they're trying to protect the voltage regulators for the CPU. And these are the 68. So these are the dud VRMs to start with. But then when they get corroded, it's pretty much end of life. I'll put a replacement on there, see if it comes to life, but I don't have the greatest of hopes. I'd say we've got a fried potato chip here, probably. But you know, I've been wrong before. There's been a couple of boards where I thought that's it, it's a goner, but it actually didn't end up being so. CPU death on this one most likely. Anyway, we'll swap it out and we'll see if we get any life. Real unfortunate. See you, Ted. Just trying to heat up some of the circuit board around it. Because most of the time that's how you actually do get the parts to come off the board, is you need to heat the board up enough that it melts the solder rather than heating the part. Oh, this is going to be hell. I just realised I'm still on 6mm nozzle. Damn iPhones. Yeah, this is not going to come up. I need my 9mm nozzle. Hey John Finn, how's it going? I'm just waiting for the hot air station to cool down to about 100 before I put the proper nozzle on. Go with a 50 cal. I'll go straight through the board. Come on. Yeah, the 9mm is certainly much better for dealing with MacBooks. With the 6mm, you just can't get the amount of energy out of the nozzle. Now the fun thing is to get this on fast enough that the heat doesn't migrate through the tip into your fingers. Hey Jane Zimmy. Pro, the new lockdown. Fortunately it doesn't apply up here. Yeah, we are 1300 k's up. But you know, it is still a concern because Brisbane is our... From here it's basically Townsville and then Brisbane. So it's only a short hop and a step away. Downsize means it's gonna play hell on deliveries, which is naturally all I care about because I'm selfish and self-centered. Ah, crikey. Sorry folks. The automatic switcher didn't play in because I manually switched out. I would say the new camera is about 600, yeah, 2 foot. 2 foot for those who prefer the obscure distance specifications. Need some more flux there, Paul. I do actually want it to go a little bit higher, but unfortunately the magic arms that I have, in fact all of the ones that I can see, they are all pretty much limited to 11-inch maximum, which limits me because my mounting shelf is only up at a certain height. I'm going to need some assistive heat here. And quite a bit more solder. So the trouble is, these pads, they are lead free for the most part. So we've just got to convert them over to leaded before removing 90% of what's there. Now normally I wouldn't care too much about ground pads or flat plane pads in the middle, but these ones are important. If you don't get these right, then there'll be a increased resistance on the line. Ah, man, come on. What's going on here? Pressed the wrong button, that's what. Some pads not wanting to take. Oh, mother flip. I really didn't want to get all that solder on there. Anyway, as it is, looks like we've got some corrosion down here. Hey, no blue sky. Yeah, this is gets into SO state, but no CPU activity. So I'm putting it at about 90% likely that the CPUs are goner. But we're going to be a sucker for eternal hope and try. Lewis had the same problem. Bad CPU, did he? Okay, I missed his stream. I saw it come up, but that was a little early for me in the morning. I didn't get enough sleep. Once again, ran out of flux in that process. That's not good. So you only want a very small amount of solder on those pads. I mean, you can squeeze it out, but I generally prefer not to rely on the squeeze out too much. Mostly because when you do the squeeze out, there's no guarantee that you haven't set up a bridge somewhere. I gotta admit, I'm not normally this cumbersome, or at least that's what I'm going to tell you all, and I'm going to have to hope that you believe me. That'll suffice. Now, typically, you will replace all of the MOSFETs, all three of them in one hit. However, in this particular instance, I'm just going to try it with one. Simply because I don't want to... And if it works, then I'll replace all three. I know it seems like more work ultimately, and it is. But if it's a dead CPU, I don't want to commit 3 good new VRMs to a board that's dead. Hey, bikes, cars. Yeah, Rodrigo, you do rely on the solder mask, but there's... Unfortunately, because we're dealing with a rework process, as opposed to someone puts paste down in a stencil and then it's a nice even reflow, because you're dealing with a rework process, there's no guarantee that some sort of bridging might not occur when you do the squeeze out. Which is typically why, after you've done the push down for the squeeze out, you will then reflow it again, in the hope that, and in most cases it will succeed, any small bridges of solder running across the mask will actually then just remelt out of the way. So yeah, I mean, in theory it works. I mean, in reality it does work pretty often. But because I'm dealing with a maybe possibly situation here, I prefer to err on the side of caution. But I am a bit of a CYA person. As in, cover your ass. As it is, there already was too much on that, and there wasn't barely any on there, so we're going to have to go that way anyway. Hello Jessa, iPad Rehab, how are you? I was actually talking about you the other night, just wondering where you'd been and what you've been up to, and whether you seem like you're having a better time running off with your family and enjoying life. A smart thing to do. And I was doing phones last night too, Jessa. I know, it's not what I should be doing. Sometimes I do. Oh, and Lewis is here. Crikey, we've got everybody. Lewis, I hear you had a similar problem today. This one had corrosion on the VRM, so I'm basically guessing this is a deadie. But, come on. Naturally takes it too far. Yeah, and looks like we're just going to be a discussion ground of the financial dealings between Lewis and Jessa. Lewis, the new camera that Jim gave me. It's all pretty much up with what yours does. Very nice. See, you got screwed. When you take off the cap next to the 1VSO5, it works. But when it's there, it doesn't even... With the working cap. Really? That's a bit peculiar. What cap number was that? Nikita Net, that is not a solder blob. That is a... That's where the corrosion was. And it's just the mask broke away. You're talking about this one here. As far as I know, they should be just the same net anyway. We'll bring it up on the board view and have a look. 3662. There, see, they're all the same net there. So all of these along here are connected along with that there. They're all ground. Now on the other hand, if that had been shorted to that... Oh wait, you can't see. I say if that there had been shorted to that, then yeah, that'd be a problem. Alright, let's see what the chipmunk's got to say about it now. I do love having these chipmunks. Definitely worth the investment. It means I can see the CPUs alive without having to rebuild everything. I suppose I should put a fan in there as a... would it be an homage to Lewis and his fan spin? There we go. Zoom back out. Daylight plays havoc with these cameras at the best of times. Okay, so we've got our fan spin. 1.5 amps, 1.2. So we're looking for the green light to come up. And I have a horrible feeling we're never going to see the green... We have a green blink. It's alive. I was not expecting that. I was genuinely expecting a dead CPU. Come on, do it again. Do it again. It does it again. We're alive. Ah, such glorious. Especially with the audience we have today. Repair, right to repair and repair royalty. Now, of course, the question is, I don't want to replace those 3 VRMs because I'm thinking it's working. Choices. I'll put it back into the chassis and 100% verify that it is, in fact, working properly. Well, that's a nice change. God, I hate getting these back in there. Honestly, every cable possible gets snared under these boards. Okay, that one there at least isn't so bad. This one here, and the speakers, and then you forget about the backlight of the keyboard. Plug the speaker in so we can at least hear the bong. Now, I know the exposure's a little overblown, but that's because I've got daylight right over here. There's a window just here. I need to block it up. Too much natural light is bad for it's bad for the soul of a basement dweller. Come on. Yep, time to put on the glasses. Hey Barry West, welcome. That's good. That's good. Plugging this in only because I don't want it flapping around. Yeah, I don't really care about anything else. That should be enough. Okay. Put in our boot stick. What the heck? Looks like I pulled my wire out. So option. Hey Sonia, welcome. See if this boots properly. Let me guess, it's going to go real slow. Optimus. Lewis, did you get my message about the Quick 861 DW? Or did you selectively ignore me again? I'm just saying, if they're filling up your space at the workshop, at the shop, I am willing to help you regain some space. Assuming you've still got two 20-volt ones. Because I need a spare. Alright, this is looking good. I don't want to run Valley on this because I do not have the fans running, so naturally it's going to be rather disinclined to run well. We'll run with the 1502 keyboard. Cap locks, escape, keyboard's good. Alright, that's it. I'll call that a fix. He ignored me again. How normal. The only time Lewis pays attention to me is when something is going wrong. And he thinks it's related to me. Oh. No caller ID. Hello, Paul speaking. Sorry? For those, they are better off go to the Mac doctor in Townsville. Yeah, because there's a few quirks with that particular replacement, and better off that they do it, given that they're Apple authorized. Okay then, no worries. Bye. Yeah, I don't do the iPhone 11s at the moment, unless it's just data recovery. I leave it to the local Apple authorized service agent. I do all the 10 series, XR, XS, an X. But for the other ones, I just leave it to them, and they in turn they reciprocate by if there are board repair jobs and things like that, which they technically can't handle, they'll send them through to me. So it's a win-win situation both ways. Hey, Azio, you can search for a 220 is no guarantee. It depends what the shipping is going to be like, and that's what I was kind of wondering with Lewis. Because I know that the USPS fees are just insane. So if the postage fees are outrageous still, then I'm better off just buying it through Union Repair or something like that. I mean, at least they are close to me. Alright, this is fixed up. I'll get on to the next job first. Just add in a service note. VRM corrosion on U7310, I think it was. Yep, U7310. Submit. Okay. Well, I figure, if it's more a problem with the US Postal Service, but in terms of cost, some of the fees have just become outrageous lately. So, and I don't expect anybody to absorb that cost, so it's more a case of, is it realistic or is it just not possible? Hey, Steve K. Last time I said, yeah, it's exactly on L's. Yeah, $60 for a screen was way over the top schematic. And hopefully, changing topics with Flexboard View, hopefully in the next week or two, I will have the OpenBoard data version up and running. So if we go like a 165 board, which is my classic favorite. Actually, I'm not sure if I've got the right version running here. But yeah, you can now go into, well, I can now go into the boards and I can just click on check the server, and I bet you I've got the wrong version running. I have. Okay. Paul's going to now quickly pull the latest version. Development. Watch the source code compile. The cap, which cap was it, do you know? Because, yeah, I mean, I can if you like. 165 board. Alright, so that has already pulled the data down already. Now, I've still got to work out the security and the policies for submission and all that, but now, we can just do like, this pin never gives trouble. And that's already gone and updated. It's like if I reload it, pretending I'm a new person. And this will be on the server now. So it's going to permit people to be able to make changes, like diode volt resistance modes and notes, and they're straight away going to go up. And what I'll do in terms of being able to collate multiple entries for a given network, I'll just simply have the latest one listed, but then also have a history so people can just pull down the history if they want to see what the previous submissions were. And along with the latest, I'll have a average value. Like a genuine mathematical average as opposed to a mean or anything like that. We'll just go straight for average. There may be a few outlier values that some people might try to put in there, but hopefully if I can select the right people, we should minimize that sort of crap. Anyway, let's get to what Anel was looking for, 3662. It's the top left cap of the 105 regulator chip. Let's see. Crikey. Where's the 105 regulator? Oh, it was actually... So what? Lewis's issue was on an air, 165, is that what you're saying? And the 105 regulator, I should know that one. Is this the one you're after? 7600? And which cap were you having trouble with? First cap, top left. So this one here, or that one there. So you got 7615 or 7650? I'm going to guess 7650. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, 7615. 100 nanofarad. It's a voltage reference cap. Okay, so what was going wrong? If he put it there, it would fail. If he didn't, it would work. Is that what you're saying? Well, that's more of a... That is definitely going to be peculiar. That's its primary purpose there is to make sure that this divider remains stable, like the output. Like this also helps here, this 10 nanofarad. So the 10 nanofarad supports the stability of this here, the reference in, and this one sort of helps that, but also that. So for that not to work, yeah, I'm thinking the fault's on somewhere between the cap. So like that there. I would be... Yeah. It's... I mean, yeah, you can sort of call it a smoothing cap, although really it's more of a stability or a impedance firming cap. That is, it means that when the chip, even though these chips, these inputs have very high impedance, when they do sample, they still do require a little bit of energy. And so that energy, typically you set up these caps to have enough there to be able to give the energy to the chip without significantly depleting the actual value that you're trying to measure. So yeah, I'd be looking at either the traces or the resistors. I'd just simply go and wipe that whole section, to be honest, because I can't imagine this here probably just goes off to 1v5, and that's such a low impedance line that it shouldn't matter at all. But yeah, I'd just do the full wiper. Hey sweetie. I have? Oh, okay, alright then. Oh, right, yep, okay. Alright, I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. I've just got to go and deal with a customer. Oh, that was a fun thing. Someone dropping around about 30 or 40 hard drives that they need disposing of. Okay. Alright, so we're right. Yeah, I would just windscreen wiper that. It's still very peculiar. It almost makes me think there's a break in the trace between these two. I think closer inspection required. Stick all the bits and pieces on this. Bring up the next machine. Yeah, if it was pretty corroded, I'd be looking for either a... When you say it doesn't work, does it... nothing makes sense there. Wiper it and try again. Oops, wrong way. Does not turn on. Does it draw any current? Oh, damn it, grey hair. Let's see, what is it? Hits 300 milliamp and then 20 milliamp. Okay, it sounds like it's probably inducing a short of some sort. It's just a little curious as to why. I'd say, yeah, take the parts off, scratch it back, and have another look. You're welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, next job. 1466, this is a warranty job. This is one that we had to replace the connector on the main board that goes to the DC in board. And somehow or another it apparently didn't work. Well, it did, worked here fine, went through testing fine. And then it got down there and it supposedly didn't work. I'm in a bit of a bad run with that. And it's starting to get frustrating to the point where I'm thinking I might actually get a shaker machine or something. Oh man, I'm just getting hit with waves of nausea. I need to have breakfast or something. Oh. How can I be out of my... If you're wondering what I'm looking for a screw container. Might just have to use this one. Well, yeah, that this is that nausea where you wake up too early or something, and you're doing fine for a while, and then all of a sudden you get just hit with instant sickness feeling. Get the cold, clammy wave. You feel like you need to eat something pronto. Yeah, we'll push through, and hopefully not die today. Hey Jim, welcome. See you made it. So what is this? Oh man, nasty. This better not be something like their MagSafe is dodgy. What do we got? The current values are a little bit weird. It really looks more like that's just charging battery and nothing else. Chipmunk says so. Yeah, that current looks more like charging battery. That's nearly full. Alright, well, rip it open, see what's going on. Yes, Jim, thank you for the camera. It's certainly very helpful. Even in difficult lighting conditions, it's still working great. Ugh. That's right, I've got to use the keyboard for mode switching. .6, close enough anyway. 342 is running a little high. Obviously we're not going to expect anything on CPU. Yeah, 0. That's to be expected. Oh, we'll get the battery out. Sorry to hear you're unwell last night, Jim. Okay, we've got a little bit of... No, we've got a lot of liquid here. Look at this. Is it showing up? Let's see if we can get there. There, you can see that liquid there. And it's come through here. This person liquid damaged their machine. Let's disconnect the keyboard and see what happens. Yep, the keyboard, they have put liquid into their keyboard since I fixed it. So this is not a warranty job. If we're really lucky, it's just the cable. Because I can see a bit of junk on there. No, it looks good. Yeah, so no warranty on this one. This is just bad keyboard. My work is perfect. They just went, oops, I spilled liquid on it. I'll claim it under warranty. It must be the fault of the person who fixed it before, since they touched it last. Now, I don't know if the guy's going to want me to do the replacement or not. On the trackpad, you reckon? Yeah, let's pull that up and have a look, shall we? It didn't make it waterproof. Ah, I knew I'd missed something. Trackpad itself seems fine. Contacts seem fine. I'll plug in another keyboard and see what happens. As in a spare keyboard. Do I have one? I think I put my keyboards into a special place. And actually I've not marked that special place. Ah, here we go. That was just pure luck. So actually, before I do that, we'll leave the keyboard disconnected and see if it boots. So then we're kind of eliminating whether it's the trackpad or if it's the keyboard to a degree. It's not a guaranteed elimination process, because sometimes it can still be the faulty trackpad, but it just doesn't mangle the signals from the keyboard in a way that stops it. Yeah, that's working, so yeah, it's the keyboard, most likely. Most likely. I will check, see if it's got CPU. Yeah, it's blinking green. The original description, that is from the first job number, so I'm just simply reusing that job number and appending rather, the new data. And just wait to see that it gives us a blinking folder. Yeah, there we go, blinking folder, so we're good. And to do the final test, we'll plug in the replacement keyboard, and that should eliminate the keyboard as being a source of the fault, or the trackpad rather, as an interpretation of the keyboard. Wait, I'm plugging you wrong, Paul. That is very wrong. It doesn't go in that way. That's the back way. Oh no, that was right. Yeah. I think the problem was that it slipped actually underneath the connector rather than into the... No, there's actually something really wrong there. Okay. Okay, we're booting. And I'll see now if I can just get it shut down by holding down this power button. To be fair, that is a separate circuit. Is this thing not plugged in properly? Yeah, that should have shut down by now. I'm gonna have a look at that trackpad connector. For whatever reason, it's okay. On the replacement keyboard, it doesn't have this reinforcement plastic, but even still, that's not thick enough. It's just slipping out very easily. Almost like the lock tab isn't working. But you see, the difference there is that one failure mode just simply means that the keyboard won't work. The other failure mode, which is the original failure mode, is that it won't even let the machine turn on. So they're not the same thing. I hate this design that they used. And what crazy idea was it of theirs? It does fit in, but it's too sloppy. It just falls right back out. Okay, let's see if this... You gonna work now? Now you're booting again. Alright. We got a funny one now. I don't like these ones. Do not like these ones. Come on, blink the folder. Ah, jeez. That's interesting. This must have a very new system on it. It's a different logo and it's actually a URL on it. Well, I would say probably I would replace the keyboard anyway, because I do not have a lot of confidence in that. You see what I did on the old job. 366. DC and flat socket replaced. Camera cable connector fatigued and broken. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm thinking you're right. It could be Big Sur. Because I certainly don't seem to recall Catalina doing that. Or the other possible is... Now this camera cable has a problem. What had happened is, during the process of other techs working on it, that's right, not me, the cable got fatigued and torn. And see that? You can see there's bits and pieces missing here. So I'm wondering if maybe one of the contacts is broken through to the core and it's shorting out something. So really this should just simply be disconnected. And Captain taped over or whatever. See that train wreck there? And you can see on the purple and the black one on the left hand side, they're starting to develop little creases in the insulation for the inner core. Oh wow, and I've just noticed for the first time that it's got an entire chip of plastic missing too. Yeah, I think I'll leave this disconnected, because it is dead anyway. Or maybe I should just dip it in a big blob of hot glue. That's way too much Captain Tape, Paul. Alright, since this is going back to another tech shop, what I'll say to them is that we've disconnected the camera. Well, they already knew that from the previous one anyway. But I know they can replace the keyboard anyway, if they need to, so I'll say to them, I've disconnected the camera. The keyboard may be at fault because there is liquid damage showing on the bottom of the battery and into the keyboard area. If it does misbehave, disconnect the keyboard, see if it behaves again, and then subsequently either replace the trackpad and keyboard, or whatever they feel like they want to replace. But at this point I can't honestly blame the mainboard, so it's not a warranty job in this case. It just happened to be that because I touched the computer before, I get blamed for anything that happens thereafter, of course. No bad resistance on the keyboard data lines. Not with these ones, no. Or at least not likely. Because we actually haven't moved the mainboard out. If I'd moved the mainboard out and shuffled it around a bit, I consider it. But the true test is to sit here and claim that I know what's wrong with it and make all these declarations. I'm going to put it back together, and if it misbehaves, then, well, you basically got to assertively say what you think is wrong, put yourself into a position where you've made a statement, and then let the universe come along and make a fool of you. That's the way to test these things. Replace the entire MacBook. It's not a bad idea. I had a 1165, the 11-inch Airs, the 11-inch version of this. And I have done 2 streams of me fixing it, and one came back, one for the original, and one came back for warranty, and we thought it was the transfer paste, the thermal transfer paste. That machine got back to the person yesterday, and their comments was it runs slower than ever before and misbehaving. And I said, that's it. I said, whatever's wrong with this thing, it seems to get upset during transit, so all I can do is just give them their money back. It's a loss on my side of time, and there are parts in there, but I know that even if they send it back to me and I get it working again, it will just simply do the same thing the next time it goes into transit. So it's times like that you just got to walk away and say, look, I'm sorry, we tried everything we can, but I do not feel like I can effectively repair this machine for you at a price or that you want effectively. So here's your money back, it's all yours. It's not me trying to sort of go, I don't want to know about it, in the sense of well, tough luck to you. It's a case of I'm trying to be responsible with the customer service relationship type thing, where I don't want to keep giving them hope, because it's already bad enough that it's been back once afterwards. I don't want to have to put them through that again. So easy for me to say, look, here's your money, sell your old machine off as parts or whatever, and go buy a new one. It's just going to be the better job all up. The kittens, they're all good. We still unfortunately haven't seen Honey, who is the mother of quite a few of the kittens that we've had. We don't know what's happened. Unfortunately, we can't go out there and look for her. Yeah, it's one of those difficult scenarios when you're dealing with stray cats. You do your best, you hope your best, but when they don't turn up, there's very little you can do. It's a little bit heartbreaking as well, because we ideally actually wanted to bring them all in to the property, but we just can't do that right now because we don't have the room. We have to wait till the house is purchased, and we're back to a 2-person household situation rather than 5 people in the house. And it's going to be bittersweet to get the house and to be able to finally bring the wildlings in that we do have, because when we do that and they're finally in the protection, it's going to be bitter, because we're going to know that they're the ones that we lost because we weren't able to get this done quick enough. So it's difficult. We're obviously still going to keep on with our plans, but so what can you do? You really cannot go hunting for them because you have no idea where they would be. I mean, yeah, they'll be in the region, but it's still a big region. It's hard enough finding a missing feline within your own household. Trying to find them amongst 3-foot thick grass and all sorts of things out there, very difficult. I can only hope that if something unfortunate has happened, you can only hope that it was quick. I think the worst thing when it comes to cats in particular is their tendency to get trapped. When they go sniffing around in places they shouldn't and get caught in places. We ourselves have experienced that. Fortunately, we did find the cat in that particular instance, but it happens all too often. Sonia, you finally found a vehicle you can afford. Modified Dodge van to use until your truck is repaired. A Dodge van. We don't get that brand here, Dodge. But, so what, you're going to be working out of the van, are you? Joseph King, when you get the house, will you live stream the cattery? Yes, we actually are planning on doing that. We will have a large shed home for them, insulated, environmental control, all that sort of thing. And we will have 24 camera in there. The Archive has their masters at doing that sort of thing. Interesting. Incompatible disc. This disc uses features that are not supported in this version of... right. It's interesting. So I'm running High Sierra on this. And so obviously Big Sur has been put onto this machine. And now High Sierra can't access properly some of the things that are on the Big Sur drive. Not that I want to, but it's interesting that it actually came up with the message there. Actually, I know I should run the keyboard test. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, it's a little loud. As you're liking Flexboard View, the PDF linkage is definitely worth it. Agreed. Yep. Can you tell me if your licensing makes it okay to use multiple computers? Okay, the licensing with Flexboard View is this. It's kind of like having a book, sort of. In the sense, this is akin to the Borland license that they had. You can have Flexboard View installed on multiple machines that you yourself are going to use, only one at a time. So the idea is you could have a Linux, and Windows, and a Mac OS system, but you're only ever using one of them at any given time, so therefore the Flexboard View license will transfer as you use them. So basically the license more binds to you, the user. And so if at any time you're running two concurrent ones, then that is when you need to get yourself another license. Hey, Braden Studio. See, Barry West, so it's a stray voltage from bad camera connector. Maybe, I don't know. It could have been shorting out something. I really can't confirm that. This is... And I haven't had a chance to go back and check to see on 366 video whether there was that liquid damage there originally. If there was not that liquid damage there originally, then this is definitely a case of the customer has poured something into it since. In which case they're going to be up for some money to fix it. There's a bit of a blemish along here as well, just noticing. It seems to run fine at least, but I'll go and have a check on that video if I can find it. I'm pretty sure it must be there because we did the connector on it. Arnold G, it's possible that a dog or something did get it, though we don't usually have them coming in this close to properties. They do come up to about 1 kilometre away. Anyway, it's one of those things that we just don't know what's happened, and it happens often enough that I really have to find a way to compartmentalize that scenario and just put it aside. Oh, right, cool. Sonia's sending me the... Wow, that is a really different looking van. It's almost like they took the A-Team van and chopped off the back quarter. Ha! It turned into a ute. It's pretty cool. Yeah, they are late, I mean, yeah, I understand the late night explorers and things like that. But, yeah, because we deal with so many of them, I think we've like well over 20 recently, if one does no longer turn up, yeah, it is upsetting, but at the same time you have to try not think about it too much because there's nothing you can do. You are trying your best. You're not going to be any help to the rest of them if you stop being able to be a functional human being. It's not trying to be callous or apathetic or anything like that. It's just a case of trying to manage what can be something that can sort of bring you down very hard. Particularly when you're already somewhat, you might say, emotional, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, we really do like to we like looking after our animals. They're part of the family for us. So we have to sort of like walk that tightrope. I don't know if someone took it. I mean, it is possible. They're around here, unlikely. There was nothing specifically, how could you say, special about Honey. She was just a standard small, mid-pale ginger female cat. But I could be wrong. But I would have thought, chances are no one else around here keeps their cats in like we do with our enclosures. So at night she would normally come back anyway, out of habit, because she's got her own previous kittens here, and the rest of her, what would you call it? What do you call it for a group of cats? I want to say clan, but no, it's not that. Anyway, Pride. The rest of her Pride is here, so it's a little unusual. We've checked the roads. There's nothing there. All right. Well, in this case, nothing much I can do. I'll go and check that video, see if there is signs of liquid damage, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, Sonia, I'm the same. Yeah, well, we're the same. Yeah, if they come into our yard and stuff like that, and they're looking for help or they just want attention, then they'll tend to get it, and they get brought into the fold pretty quick, even if they're jerks. We do have one sort of traditional tabby, and he beats up on the others a fair bit. He knows he's not part of the crowd. We try to, like, say, if you want to come in, you can come in and as long as you behave. But he prefers to stay on the outside of the enclosure and just beat up the others if they get too close to him, things like that. So even with him, if we don't see him for a couple of nights, we're like, oh, what's happened to him? But so we're constantly keeping an eye out on all of them. Was she feral before? She was a stray, and I wouldn't call her feral, but she was certainly borderline. Any longer without human contact, and she would become problematic. But I mean, she's little. She was really little, and she'd come up and pretty much trip you no matter where you go, because she's always rubbing up against you and things like that. So she certainly wasn't feral, just more misplaced stray kind of thing. Bob Siddle, I tend to agree. Far easier to like animals than humans in many cases, absolutely. Certainly she knows how to take care of herself, but it doesn't mean she won't do something dumb like get trapped or, like I said, it's more a case of you got to learn to put these things like into the cupboard in your mind. You sort of deal with it, you put it into the cupboard, you get on with things, and that's it. That's all you can do. And you hope maybe one day you might see something or you might find out about something, but other than that, you got to cut off the tie and just package it up and put it away. Meerkat Manor, that's pretty close to what it is. Alright, I am out of here, so thank you very much for being here for the Daystar stream. Certainly, at least, I was happy that we fixed that 1398. I genuinely thought that was going to be a goner, but given that there was corrosion on one of the VRMs, we got lucky. I will have to replace all 3 of those VRMs, but I'll do that on my own without distractions, because it's one of those jobs that there's a lot of heat involved. You get the alignment wrong, you will kill the CPU. So anyway, we'll leave it at that. Okay, out of here. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Until then, you'll take care.